to kind of jump on to what I was talking about, and I said earlier, there's 3 taps in a set. You have a starting tap, a middle tap, and a bottom tap. The starting tap has a very defined taper with not as much pitch on the thread. The second tap has got a little bit more pitch, and the third tap has got the bottom pitch all the way down to the bottom, where you can thread all the way to the bottom of a hole. The one thing you do not want to do is break one of these off in your hole. Now, yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've had to remove taps that were a lot larger than this out of a hole off of a turbine that make it 400 megawatts. I've done that, and it takes hours. So
use a starting tap first.
Yeah, you have to use a starting tap first, and just start it, gently turn it. It's better to use cutting oil. This unit is made out of an aluminum product, but it's not that soft. It's actually tough. So it's not hard, it's tough. But it's candy taking candy from a baby, for me, it may be more difficult for some of you that never tapped a hole, but I'll be glad to demonstrate on something if we get back to the shop if we need to. So.
Any more questions?
I also will let this stay here, and Jerry could take it with him, and Jerry could mail it to the next person if you guys want to get a list going. Instead of purchasing this, we could shift it around the country for a couple of weeks if you want to do that.
How far in from the edges did you tap those holes?
I think I went a ½ inch. And then you've got the diameter of your bolt, which is a quarter, so you're over an 1/8, so you're 3/8 from the end. So it doesn't have to be a ½ inch. It could be a little bit. It could be a 3/8 if you wanted to be and have a 1/4 inch. But I used a half, and so I really think that this is significant for consistency more than anything, and I think it's helped a great deal with. And it actually is sped up the process of profiling, and so.
Great. Just remember now that torque wrench is inch pounds. Not pounds, inch pounds. So somebody that all of us know put a 20-pound wrench on his and broke a couple Gulf shafts, I guess.
Yeah.
I ain't going to mention no names, but we all know him.
But he's not here right now.
Yeah.
But he's not here right now. Yeah.
I'll be around if you guys need to ask me some specific questions, but I'll be more than happy to answer those. And I think it's a privilege for me to be able to get up here in front of you guys and around people like Jerry and Keith and a few others that I've known for a few years, good club fitters and very knowledgeable, and Jerry and other guys. I appreciate it.
Well, several of you have, we made the torque wrenches available via email and through the forum, and several of you ordered them, and I have them with me. I also have 4 extras. And they are 20-inch pound to 200-inch pound, 1/4 inch drive torque wrenches. And the nice thing about them is they do SAE and metric measurements as well. So they do kilograms as far as inch pounds and all that kind of stuff too. So they're pretty nice wrenches. They're made by Pittsburgh, which is a line for Harbor Freight, which is a good, I call it a department store brand tool, but it's a good tool, it lasts you a good while. They are $26.75, including either a 6 or a 12-point 1/4 inch drive, 9/16 Craftsman socket, deep well socket. So I've got 4 extras. The rest of the guys that have ordered one, I've got them. So you bring your $26.75 and you get your wrench. It's real simple.
All right. One thing about using that wrench, whatever poundage that you got it set at, when you get ready, the ones like from Harbor Freight, that wrench does that. You don't need to go anymore. That means that's to the poundage that you got it set at. So some of them might click, but the one that I have, and I think the ones you're talking about, I don't think they click. I think they just move a little bit. So just be careful with them. So I mean, we were at Huey's shop, and I was kind of showing him. We were doing some checking with his analyzer and my analyzer with the torque wrench. So and once you get the hang of it, but it is a pain in the ass until you get used to it. Let's put it that way.
Any changes?
Any other questions?
Those wrenches, those spec, you know, that traditional torque wrench was taking everything off of there. The traditional best practices is to undo the torque on the wrenches every night, and when you put them away, do you guys just leave them set in your shop?
You're talking in that mic and I can't hear you.
Somebody else will answer, maybe. Walk into the mic.
When you're using a torque wrench daily for mechanical purposes, you know, at a high foot pound, in a very expensive one, I would back it off and leave it at 0 every night. But at 20 inch pounds or 22 inch pounds and lock it down, it's really not going to affect it.
One of the things that I read an email from Joe Easley. You know, you're looking at and I use a lot of torque wrenches in a lot of my jobs with my crews. And you, normally speaking, when you take them in for calibration, they test them at the low end, the high end, and all the way through. And I probably had 150, 200 torque wrenches tested. I had never really found one that's really that bad from a reputable manufacturer. Matter of fact, by that bad, I mean they were well within spec. The next thing is, Joe Ely's email made a good point that you're buying a torque wrench between 20 and 200 pounds, and you're setting it at 26 pounds. You're at the very, very lowest end, and it's not going to be that accurate. Okay, but it is within tolerances for manufacturing purposes. So you'd be much better off buying one, you know, it's a 5 to 50, because you're going to be in the mid-range then. But you do what you want. I'm using one 20 to 200, but accuracy-wise, if you want to duplicate it, you need to go with one where it's more mid-range to 3/4 of the range. And then we always had to back off to meet Intel specs. We had to back off our wrenches to 0 every day.
The key is consistency. Whatever you do it the same way all the time. One of the ways to keep your torque wrench consistent is one thing. I don't know if Mark mentioned it, but I don't know if it went so fast you didn't catch it. You don't back it off with the torque wrench. You back it off with a crescent wrench, and you leave your torque wrench set. So you use it to set the tool, but you use the crescent wrench to break it loose if you need to change the setting or to open the clamp.
All right, I told you, let's take a break now.